Okay, let's take a start with your IELTS speaking part 1. I'm going to ask you some questions about health facilities. Are there any hospitals or medical centers in your hometown?
There are a lot of hospitals in my hometown in different locations. They are in different locations.
Just relax, calm down. Say there are many hospitals in my hometown, and my hometown is famous for good hospitals. Whenever people are sick, they can go to any good hospital. There are private as well as government hospitals. So my hometown is quite rich in this regard, right? What is the behavior of doctors towards patients?
Doctors' behavior is very good. When patients came there,
When patients go there,
When patients go there, they look.
they check the patients.
They check the patient very patiently and give them a good service.
Okay. All right. Do you think medical care is expensive in your country? You can say, well, it depends.
Well, it depends which hospital
You go to.
Some private hospitals are expensive. Instead of whether there are many government hospitals which are cheaper in health facilities to providing people.
Okay, that's good. Are you satisfied with the health facilities in your country?
Yes, I am satisfied. There are too many hospitals, as I previously told you, regarding there are heart centers, kidney centers, and recently there are kidney transplant operations are
being conducted.
Are being conducted, and
Okay, all right, that's good. Just try to focus your fluency and give a complete answer. Don't take a pause, because when I asked you the question, you took some break, you produced some answer, and then you started. So your response should be quick response. Once I finish my question, you should start your answer, right? Now we move on to part 2. Describe a mistake you have made, what it is, when you made it, how you made it. So if you are married,
yes,
that's not a mistake. Okay, let me tell you, that's even not a mistake. Yes, exactly. All right. So describe a mistake you have made. That's your topic. Please, you can start.
We all make mistakes in life. In fact, making mistakes is a human behavior. So I made a mistake during recently on Corona pandemic, when there is a lockdown in the state.
There was a lockdown.
There was lockdown in the state, and government announced some relaxation for 2 hours in the morning to go outside. I made a mistake of going outside to buy some grocery, as my mother asked me to buy some groceries. So I went outside, I put mask on my face and took a bag, and I will go there on scooter.
I went there.
I went there on scooter. When I reached the grocery stores, big store.
Instead of focusing the story, it's a good idea to focus what it is. Just tell the mistake. Until now, I'm not clear what the mistake is. So you should mention that, when you made it, how you made it. So instead of telling me all the story, you should just say the mistake is that I went outside during the lockdown period. There was only relaxation for 2 hours, and those 2 hours finished and I was stuck out there. So the mistake I made, that was going outside during this pandemic time. I made this mistake when our government announced. So when you made it, focus on that. Don't speak like a story. Just speak in small parts. Part 1, what it is. Part 2, when you made it. Part 3, how you made it. Right? And then part 4, and explain how you felt about it. So don't start with a story. Speak in small chunks. Chunk means small parts. 4 small parts to cover the topic. Right? Okay, now we move on to part 3. I'll ask you some more questions here. What can we learn from our mistakes?
We can learn a lot from our mistakes. We learn not to do again or not to repeat those mistakes. We learn not to do.
Listen, again you can use signpost language. Signpost language is what can we learn from our mistakes. First of all, the basic thing that we learn from our mistakes is not to do that thing again. And I think this is the greatest thing. Secondly, mistakes add to our experience. When we make mistakes, we get experience. And finally, we can talk about third thing. So talk about it systematically. We call it signposting. Right? Let's go on. Do children make mistakes easily?
Children make mistake easily because they are very young, have small part of knowledge in their mind, so they make mistakes easily.
Okay, for part 3 your answers are short. You need to elaborate further. Like you say, for example, if there is a child, so you can add some example as well, right? If there is anything. What should parents do if their children make mistakes?
If children make mistake, parents teach them in a friendly way.
Should teach them.
Should teach them in a friendly way so that they can share their mistakes in future.
So they don't do any mistakes
They
in
don't.
future.
They don't do their mistakes in future, and also if they do, they will share easily to their parents.
Okay, they should share them with their parents and all that. So in part 3 your answers are short. In part 2, instead of telling the whole story, speak in small chunks. And in part 1 there were some mistakes which I pointed, so you just need to do that. At present I'll give you a 5.5, but you can get even 6 with a little effort. But if you want to get 7 or above, for that you have to focus your fluency, your sentence structure and ideas, right? That's what you got to do. Thank you.